So today we're going to have a Bootstrap workshop. I'm just going to go over a couple of announcements first, and then go ahead do the Bootstrap demo. So we've got a few officers today. So 2 officers have just joined us this semester. So do you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I can go first. Hi everyone, I'm Aditi Singh and I'm a pre-computer science major right now. I'm also minoring in business, and I'm excited to be a part of Wix. I think I joined Wix in December last year, and yes, I'm like really excited to be a part of this community.
Hi everyone, I'm Theo. Likewise, I'm really excited to join the team. I started coming to Wix, I think in like August or September last year. I'm a sophomore majoring in computer science and Arabic. Yeah, and I'm excited to continue.
Awesome. We're really happy to have you guys too and work with you this semester. So the next announcement is we've got the technical workshop next Thursday, same time. Nusrat is going to be hosting it. And the Thursday after that, so that's the 24th of Feb, we have a play of Ada Lovelace that we are planning to go to. So the tickets are going to be $15, and we are going to get about 10% off if we are able to form a group of 10 people or more. And those of you who don't know who Ada Lovelace is, she was known to be the first computer programmer. So if you guys are interested, let us know on Discord, reach out so we can get you in. So starting off with Bootstrap. Bootstrap is just a free front-end framework for faster and easier web dev. It's mainly just HTML and CSS-based design, templates for typography, forms, buttons, tables, navigation, modals, images, and many other things. So it's always a good, I'd say you don't really need to know JavaScript to do Bootstrap, but it's really good to know HTML and CSS so that you can customize different Bootstrap templates. And it gives you the ability to easily create responsive designs. And the meaning of responsive designs is, for example, if something looks good on this size of screen, so like a laptop screen, how does it look on a mobile screen? So web applications, they need to be adaptable to different screen sizes, and it's really easy to do that using Bootstrap. So that's the meaning of responsive designs. So anyone with basic knowledge of HTML and CSS can use Bootstrap, like I said. So now we're going to be downloading Bootstrap and going ahead and doing the demo. So Anna, do you want to take over?
Yes. Okay, so let me get set up here. Sorry, my computer is slow because I have a lot of stuff on it. So let me get to the slides, and then I'll share my screen. Okay, I think, yeah. Okay, can you stop sharing so I can share? Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. My computer's freezing. Okay, so Bootstrap is available at getbootstrap.com. And we are going to use, for a simple HTML CSS site, like what we will build today, we're going to use JS Deliver. So we will copy these links and paste them to our HTML file. So let me just go over here and I'll show you where that is in Bootstrap or in the Bootstrap documentation. So if you have any experience with coding, you know that a lot of times you refer to the documentation and the documentation is complicated and hard to read. Bootstrap, however, is one of the easiest to read documentation sites that I've used, which makes it really nice to work with. So I have in my VS Code a template here. This is a demo that we're going to do. And for fun, we're going to make a dating site. In the first step, I'm going to do something scary and I'm just going to delete everything here. And then I'm going to go to the Bootstrap docs. And like I said, I'm going to want to use these, but I already know from looking at the docs that there's a template that I could use. So whenever you start using Bootstrap, this link, getting started/introduction, is going to be what you're going to refer to the most. So here, I already know that there's a starter template on this page, and I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to put it into my HTML file that I just deleted. And then here, like you remember from last session, we talked about how to make an HTML file. So we have the doc type, the HTML language, the head with the metadata. And then here is our link to Bootstrap. And then what we also need is some JavaScript. Bootstrap uses JavaScript. And we have a few options here. I'm going to use the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this part because we're not using it. We don't need it. Okay, so now let's look. Goodbye dating site. There it is. That's what we have so far. So now that we have Bootstrap going in our HTML file, let's start adding things. So here in the documentation, you can browse this. I've already browsed it and there's a lot, so I'm not going to go through each thing, but I will tell you the most important parts. So in the introduction, we have our template that we started. We could go to customize, and we'll use this later, but this shows you how to use the colors that Bootstrap comes with. So these are the standard theme colors whenever you make a nav bar or other components. You can choose the color by designating light, dark, secondary, primary, etc. And you can also use these colors embedded in your style tag in your HTML if you want to use that. So we'll get to that later. One of the most important aspects of Bootstrap is that it helps you build dynamic components. And the way it does that is that it establishes breakpoints. So like what was already mentioned, as your components are laid out on the screen, the way you resize the screen, the objects will move to fit the screen. That is a dynamic website. We've all seen websites that when you're trying to look at it on your phone, it does not, the components do not move, and it looks like you're just looking at a web browser. It's very difficult and not user-friendly to view. So with the breakpoints, Bootstrap gives us containers. These are how we add these to our classes. And let me see if I could show you what it looks like. I'll show you a grid. So this is what it looks like. You could literally just copy this. You input your content here and it will be spaced out beautifully and it will resize on any screen. And then here we have columns, and we'll get to these later. This is just how to align and place your columns. There's lots of examples of code here that you can use. By the way, if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm going through this kind of fast because we're going to build this thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the components. And here I want to add a nav bar first. So these are the list of components. You have buttons, you have cards. Carousel is, a giant image that changes in the middle of the screen. But I want a nav bar, so I'm gonna go to nav bar. And then here it's kind of explaining how it works and how to change the colors. So let's look. And we have a few different choices. So once you learn Bootstrap, you could code these on your own and customize it better. You don't have to copy and paste what they have in their documentation. But for the purposes of this demo, we're just going to copy something that we like. So here we could add a logo, and you do that by adding this A tag in the image. I think I'm just going to go with the top nav bar because that has some cool functionality. And I'm going to put it under my body. You can see my code editor, right? Yes. Okay. So let's see how that looks now. Look, there it is. So this doesn't do anything because we haven't added a link to it yet. We haven't added anything here. I don't like the colors, of course, so I'm going to change it. And I thought I saw an example here that had a color. Sorry, I'm going through this fast. I'm going to look through. Okay. So here, I'm going to add this style attribute to my HTML. And that's nav class, nav bar light. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to find it in this code. Okay. I think I'm going to put it here. And I need to add my quotations because it doesn't like what I'm doing. And then here, I'm just going to go ahead and select a color. Let's do, I don't know, what color should we do? Because the button's going to stay green. Okay, we'll do that color, I think. I don't think I like that either. So let's change it. This is the fun part about coding. You just, try out whatever works. Okay, we'll keep that. This is ugly, but it's fine. Does anyone have any ideas for the name of our dating site? I'm going to call it Wix dating site. Super creative. Okay. All right. So I think I want to add some social media, and I want the social media to be here under the search bar. So the thing that I'm going to do first is I need to add columns. So I'm going to go back to my documentation. I'm going to go to layout. Don't want grid or columns. I'll try some columns. And I'm going to look for the kind of columns that I want. I want it to be all the way to the right. Oh, so about columns. The way columns work in Bootstrap is that you need to imagine that there's 12 columns on your screen and you size them accordingly. So if this area here is a full screen of 12 columns, this column takes about 9 columns. Here we have 2 columns, one size 4, one size 6, and you could see that this is the remainder, the difference. This would be 1 column, and then this is 10, there'd be 2 more here. So let me try to find one here. Maybe it's in grid would be better for me. I think we're getting closer. I think I'm going to use this top set because I want my social media icons to be on this side. So I'm going to make a container. And I'm taking the first row all the way down here. Now, when I do this, because I'm cutting this container in half, I need to remember to take this closing div. Otherwise, my code will be messed up and I'll spend a lot of time troubleshooting it. So as you could see, this is our nav bar code and it ends here. I have hello world here and I want my container and my icons to be above hello world. So there it is. Don't forget that closing div. And then let's just check that to see how it looks. Okay, so we see where our things are. My icons will be here, and that's still not far enough to the right for me. I want it to be even farther. So you know what? I'm actually going to take this one. Am I going to take that? No, I'll do 4 columns. So I'm going to take this row. So I'm going to undo everything that I just did. Actually, I think I could just take another column here and not undo everything that I just did. And I'm going to add it. And I'm just for better form, I'm going to do that. Okay. And then hello world. Does that give me 4 columns? Yes. And this is exactly where I want my icons to be. So I don't know how to add icons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look it up, Google it, and this is what I got. Here are some icons. And this is how to use it with CSS. This example is using an icon library called Font Awesome, which is pretty cool, has a lot of great fonts. You will have to link it just like we linked Bootstrap in our HTML file. So go up here. I'm just going to add this link. Okay, so that's there. And from looking at this, I need to add CSS. This means I could either do this in style, but since it's already just nicely here, I'm going to add a CSS file. In this website, I might have to use a CSS file anyway at some other point. So why not? Here, I'm going to copy and paste this. And hopefully my icons will show up. Okay, does my editor know what language this is? Let's see, I have to save it. And I'm going to save that as styles. CSS. And then if I need to add any more CSS, I'll just reuse this sheet. Oh, I already have that. Whatever, I'll replace it. Okay. And then in my HTML, I need to, again, link my style sheet. So just so you could see this a little better, I'm just going to copy this part of this link reference. Oh my God, I feel like my computer is going to crash because it's not responding well. I'm going to add my closing tag there. I'm going to take all this out, and I'm just going to put styles.css. And then I didn't add my icons yet, so I'm going to go back here. No, not there. And in this top example, these are the icons. This has Facebook and Twitter. Just for this demo's sake, we're going to add Facebook and Twitter icons, and we're going to come down. So this is my HTML. Again, this is a nav. Just ignore all of that for now. This is my container. And in this column, the 4th column is where I want those icons. I just want it to look a little bit nicer. And then I'm just going to delete this because I don't want that there. Okay. Are my icons there? Yes. Cool. And then this looks kind of ugly, and I do want to put something there. So let's go back to our Bootstrap documentation. And this gives us a good opportunity to look at content and typography, which is just another thing to explore. So this is what the classic Bootstrap heading looks like without any Bootstrap classes added to it. But I want a nice one. So I'm gonna look at display one maybe. So all I have to do is add this class display one to my H1. Where is it? And then I'll look at it here. Okay, so this is probably where we would put our tagline for our dating site. So let's just say like, hello. Okay. And now I want to add cards. So if you are not familiar with a card deck, it's in components, and this is what it will look like. So I imagine on our dating site, we would have 4 cards or 3 cards that say like, I'm interested in men, or I'm interested in women, or I'm interested in everyone. But we want to space it out in our grid. So before I add these cards, you know, I would copy this if I wanted, sorry, let me go back to cards. I would copy this if I wanted this exact card. This has a heading, some content, and a link to go somewhere. Or I could just take the components that I want. I don't have to have any links. Here's a list group. You know, it just kind of goes on. I could add a bunch of stuff to my card if I want, but I don't. So like I said, first things first. And you know what? I think I want 4 cards. So I'm going to go back to layout. I think I was in grid, and I'm going to take that 4 column row again. It's 4 equal, here it is. Okay, so again, I'm going to take this, go to my VS Code, under my H1. So I'm leaving my H1 out of a grid because later I will show you the difference between things that are dynamically set in the Bootstrap grid and things that are just out here in the open. And you could see the difference in how they resize. So here, I didn't grab the closing div container, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so let me format this because I'm going to put some chunks of code. If anyone has any questions, speak up because I am not looking at the chat. Also, if I'm going too fast, we're recording this, so you can come back and look at it. Pause whenever you need to be paused. Okay, so those spaces that I just made in the code, that's going to be for our cards that we wanted. And I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to paste it 4 times in between my columns. That should give me cards. All right, let's see what I have going on over here. I probably did too much without looking at it, so who knows? Okay, perfect. Those are spaced exactly how I want them to be spaced. And now we just got to add some pictures, which I've already taken from pexels.com. That's PEXELS.com, and it's just free images. And I took a bunch, so I forget what they were. Let me go up to my first card deck. So this is going to be, I'm interested in men, and I have a picture, some pictures over here. That's everyone. These are just kind of random. Okay, we'll take him. Mom will like him if we bring him to Thanksgiving, but we can't tell her. We found him on a dating site. I usually say Whole Foods. If I meet someone online, I usually tell my parents that, yeah, we met at Whole Foods. But they don't believe me, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Here. And then let's just see how that looks. So I added my image. What I did here, I have a bunch of images in this folder. And to take this image, you right click and you want to copy the relative path and not the full path. The full path will show, the absolute path will show where it is on your desktop, but the relative path will connect it to the folder, which then when you put online, it will be connected to the right space and not, you know, your desktop or whatever. Okay, cool, very nice. And then I'm just gonna add these other ones. I can't remember what this is. Oh, okay, yeah, she looks like she has her life together. Mom would also like her at Thanksgiving. Okay, and then I'm gonna use, I already looked at that one. Oh, not him. This guy is not on a dating app. He is at Gentle Ben's, just waiting to be picked up. Okay, so this is if we're interested in everyone, or everyone card. I don't know if I said this before, but I'm putting it into image source. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to add alt tags, but alt tags are super important. If you do any technical coding interviews, or if you give any code samples, your employer is going to want to see alt tags. You know what? I will add an alt tag. So this is just going to say group of people. People on a roof, which is what that picture was. So alt tags are for screen readers and it's used for accessibility purposes. Wait, I added that in the wrong place. This is my fourth card. I need to be in my third card. So I'll go back up here, image source, our relative link. I'm gonna steal my alt tag as well. Put it up here. And then our fourth card is going to be for those who just decide to adopt a pet. Sometimes that's just simpler, less drama. Pets will always love you. And then let's take a look at how this, okay. Oh wait, that's shaped weird. Okay, so these images happen to be the same size, and I could sit here and resize this in my HTML code, but I don't want to do that because I have another pet picture somewhere right there. Okay, those pets look like you might see them in a like humane society shelter. So I'm going to replace that. Again, I could have added style, like a style attribute here, and then did like with equals whatever to change the size of that picture, but I don't want to do that, so I'm just gonna change it. All right, that's better. I'm gonna change these card titles real quick. So let's go back to my first one. Card title is I'm interested in, and this card title, interested in women. This one is a group of people, so it's going to be interested in 1. And then this one is, never mind. Okay, so there's a few things that we could do here. We could add more space. We could add content at the bottom. I think we're doing pretty good on time. So I'm gonna add another page. I'm gonna add a sign up page here. So I'm gonna go up into my ugly nav code and find where that link is. So this is the title. This A attribute links us to the page that we're on. And then this is the one that I wanted to change into a sign up page. Who wants to sign up for a dating? Did I mention we're doing a dating app for Valentine's Day? Okay, so I'm gonna add a new HTML page, and I want it to have the same navigation as this. In fact, I want it to have this, what's up here. So I want the nav and I want the social media links. So I'm just gonna copy it. And I need that container with the social media links. They're right here. Where does this div go? That goes to the container and then the nav. So from this div up, all the way up, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna put it into this HTML file. Cool, so I don't have the closing tags or anything else. So I need to go back here. Sorry, I mean, I don't have the closing body tags or my closing HTML. So what does this go to? That I don't want, but I do want these 3 things. So I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna come back here under this. All right, so let's see. Oh, I have to save it first. I don't have my VS Code set up to automatically do these things, so that's a pain. I just need to take the time to do it. This is our sign up page. I'm gonna call it sign up. Sign up HTML. And let's take a look at that. Okay, cool. So nothing is linked to it and it does not link to anything else. So I'm gonna come back here to my VS Code. I'm gonna look at index and I need to link that. So in my nasty chunk of nav code, I'm finding where my sign up button is, and this is a link to it. So I'm just gonna say signup.html. I also need this to link home, and I think I could just do, I'm just gonna type index, but I think you could just do the slash. Actually, so let's see if our nav does things that we want it to do. Does it take us home? No, it's not. Oh, you know what? I didn't link it in this page. I linked it on this page. So this should take us to sign up. No, it doesn't. It doesn't take us anywhere. All right, what did I do? Do I need that? Oh, I didn't refresh it. Ugh, and I didn't need the slash. This is the fun part about live demos. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna refresh this. I'm gonna go to this, and there it is. Okay, so this is linking to our sign up HTML. And then what I need to do, just to make things nice and on the same track, is I should have added the links to the nav bar and then copied it. But you know, I like to do things the hard way. I'm gonna try this out. I really do think it goes to HTML. I just can't remember. And then this will go to itself, which is sign up. Let's see. Does it take us home? No, it takes us to the index. wrong. Okay, so index.html. Refresh it, and now we'll take us down. Yes. Okay. So on our sign up page, we want a form, and this is where we're going to get back to Bootstrap. Bootstrap has a ton of forms. Anything you need in a form, you could do in Bootstrap, and you could copy this chunk of code here. And if you want more things in it, you just add this chunk to this chunk. That's basically all programming. You just add chunks of code to each other and hope it doesn't break. But let's look at, let's see, I'm on overview, form control. I'm not going to make an elaborate form here. I just want a sign up. So let's look at input group, because if someone's signing up something, they're going to need, yeah, okay, there we go. There's a nice one. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it in sign up under all of my stuff that's already here. And I'm going to tell you right now, I did not put it in columns. I did not use a grid. So don't be scared when it looks like this, which is not what we want, right? So what we would do is, I'm just going to take this all out, and I'm going to find somewhere, oh no, not the wheel. Okay, somewhere in my documentation, like a layout. It's going to give me like a huge column. It should be call 12. Like this is call 6 because it's taking up 6 columns. I could just make it call 12 column. But maybe I want it like in the middle. So it would span across 6 columns. No, I feel like that would be too small. Let me just find something that looks good. Come on, Bootstrap, give me just like one big column. No. All right, fine. I'll size it myself. Maybe I'll do this. Why not? I really just want you to see how this form fits on this page. So I'm going to take that. And then, wait, that's 2 columns. I kind of want these to be reversed, because I don't want my content to start all the way over here. Let's just see how it looks. Let's just test it out. I feel like I'm shooting in the dark right now, so let's just put some code in and see what happens. So under forms, we're going to input group, putting this giant form here, copying this code, VS Code, I'm putting it here. No, I need to put it in column 8 because that was the bigger one. 8 columns. Okay. Look better. There you go. That looks better, right? Perfect. And then so we have another row up here and there's nothing in it, but I think I'm going to put a title up here, like something that says sign up. In fact, I'll put another display. So I'll go back to customize, no, layout, no, content, typography. And just to keep things, just to keep like continuity, I'm going to use this display one again. Copy that. Here I'm in my sign up. And I wanted it, I think, in the first column of that first row. So I'm deleting this, I'm putting this div down here. And this is gonna say like sign up form. Sign up to find love. Sorry. Well, I don't like that. So maybe this should be in 2 columns. So how should I adjust this? I think I could do call. Let me get rid of this. And for this class, I'm gonna say call 4. So take up 4 columns. No, sorry. I'm in display. I did the wrong thing. I want that to be up here. I typed it in the like the second column, but I need it in the first column. So let's see if that changes anything. I guess that's okay, but I still think I want to take this other column. So I'm just going to do call 6. I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. All right, that's good enough for me. Okay, so there's our dating site. Here's our icons. Oh, this is the last thing I wanted to show you. So to make a site like this in just CSS would be such a pain when you could do it the way I just did with Bootstrap. And once you know these Bootstrap classes and you don't have to look it up on the documentation, making something like this will go by so quickly. But the main feature, again, of Bootstrap is that it is dynamic. So if you're searching for love on your iPad Air, you can see how our card deck resized. And then let's see an iPhone. This is how it would look. Our navigation automatically does this, right? And it's not perfect, but our cards are stacked on top of each other like we want them to be. What does our form look like? I don't even know. Oh, yeah, even our form. So imagine you're looking at this on your cell phone. Even our form is not too bad. You know, of course, there's some things that we could change, but in terms of making a website dynamic without doing anything, this is pretty good. Yeah, so, okay. So actually, I'm going to show this to you on the home page. I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, wait, no, I need that. I just wanted to show you that the breakpoints are the points at which these components start to move, right? So I just hit a breakpoint because our 4th card went to the bottom. I'm about to hit another breakpoint pretty soon, I think. Yeah. Okay. Whereas like a HTML CSS site, you will just see all of this, but really small on your cell phone or your tablet. And I guess that is it. Let's get back to the slides. Oh, I just skipped all these slides. So this is what I did in the beginning, right? So I went to getbootstrap.com, getting started. I used JS Deliver because we're just doing a simple site. Here's the link to the Bootstrap documentation. For now, it's getbootstrap.com, docs 5.1, getting started. And then /introduction is where you find that template that I used for the HTML. And then for this demo, I used VS Code. I used W3 Schools, you know, for the social media buttons, but that was just the first thing on the search. Like I could have used anything for that. And then I used Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S. Here's some more resources. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. That's about it. Does anyone have any questions or want to see any code? Are you guys still here? Did, did anyone get anything out of that?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Anna.
All right. And then there's a lot you could do with colors. I didn't really show you how to change. I only showed you like one instance of changing a color, but Bootstrap is as customizable as anything else that you code. You notice that I did add a CSS style sheet. So you just take that element, you select that element in CSS and then do whatever you want to it. But Bootstrap is definitely a good starting point.